We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Hi, I'm Suzy Prudden. Just going to hang up the phone here. It's gold, you'll notice. The money's in the phone. And welcome to Mastermind Live with Suzy Prudden on LA Talk Live, where we're more than just talk. I have a very special, wonderful, fantastic, outrageous, phenomenal guest for you today. Unfortunately, she can't be here, but she is on the phone. Her name is Shelly Hunt. Welcome, Shelly.
Welcome, Suzy. Thanks for having me.
I'm really glad to be speaking to you right now, but I can barely hear you. Can you turn her up? Okay. I'm going to tell you all about Shelly, and I'm going to read it because it's long. Shelly Hunt's gift of transformational impact has taken her clients beyond motivation to lasting results through teaching the precise how to in the designs of your success from the inside out. Global entrepreneur, business strategist, international motivational speaker, trauma expert, author of Success is by Design series, and TV executive and producer. Shelly is founder and CEO of Success is by Design, Remake My Life LLC, the Women of Global Change, and other multiple companies. Shelly has shared the stage with some of the top human potential and business speakers in the world and is a lead mentor in the Billionaire Adventure Club. She has appeared on national talk and radio shows with audiences in the millions and has been mentioned in Forbes.com. Her appearances are numerous from CBS, ABC, USA Today, the CBS Monday Watch, Beyond the Dow, HLN, and many others. She has appeared as a feature host speaker in a documentary series entitled Freedom for the Human Potential Network. Shelly currently is a proud member of the Alliance of Women and Media, which promotes positive progress, change for women, and sits as a judge for the last 3 years for nationally televised Gracie Awards. Shelly has currently been described in the international press as one of the best orators and coaches of human potential available for public speaking and a master of business structure and multiple sources of income. Her speaking skills and courses cover the full spectrum. She has focused her life's work in the realm of human potential and business success. Shelly has presented to and coached well over 10,000 individuals from all walks of life. These include CEOs, business owners, inventors, authors, managers, a Supreme Court judge, blue-collar industries, teen trainings, as well as the general public. And do you ever sleep, Shelly? My goodness. So, you are a master, and I'm very happy to say also a very good friend of mine. And I am sorry that you're not here with me in the studio, but I am delighted you're on the phone. So tell me about what you're up to now.
What I'm up to now is, of course, I'm doing Successes by Design, still doing a lot of my business coaching and platform launching. But I'm also doing the Women of Global Change, which, for me, it's part of my legacy, which is really being able to go out and to play in the world and make an active difference. And, I think that it's all about that. I think that if we can use our businesses, in the things that we're good at and the things that we're passionate about to be able to have them strategically done so we're making money, then we can go out and even play in a bigger way in the world. And so, I'm really at that point in my life and I'm really excited about it.
Well, you just came back from Costa Rica where you were with Women of Global Change.
Yes.
What tell us about that?
Well, what I did in Costa Rica is we get together in business, power, and spirit. And what I mean by that is, we get to work on each other's businesses, we get to share each other's network. And then in the middle of all that, we actually built a school and actually renovated a building with cement floors. These kids were learning on cement floors. And if they went into grade school, they'd have to walk about an hour and a half each way. And so the social classes in Costa Rica are very, very rich or very, very poor, and most are very poor. And so we went into this village of about 1,000 people and put a school in, brought in about 2 years worth of school supplies. We brought in desks so each of the kids won't be sitting on the floor. And I'll tell you, it was so heartfelt to me. To me, that's just part of what I want to do on the face of this planet. And I felt very honored and privileged to be able to do that.
And next year, you said you're going to Haiti?
We're going to Haiti. Year before this, we were in Honduras. We did an infant care unit center and a woman's shelter. And we did this in a day. It's not like this is the whole journey. This is like one day of the journey. And, next year we're going into Haiti. Yes.
And next year I'm going with you.
Good. I'm excited to have you come with me. I know the work you do, and I admire and respect the work you do, Suzy. I always have.
Thank you, sweetie. I want to discuss leverage with you because that's
Okay.
one of your specialties. You really know how to leverage your products, your whole positioning. Tell us about that.
Well, I just think that, people have these businesses or they have these services or they're authors or speakers or whatever they are. And no matter what it is and what kind of industry it is, there are ways to leverage it. And, I tell people, they go, well, or, I'm an inventor or whatever it is. And I said, most people look at it like it's their baby and it's strapped to their back and they're climbing the mountain. And I tell them this is a business and it needs to be strategized because if in the front of the business or the middle of the business or the end of the business, you're going to want to sell the business. And so how do you leverage first off, to attract the people, if you're just starting out, to attract the big players to come in and play with you? Because that makes a difference. And secondly, if you're in the middle of your business and you're ready to take it to the next level, how do you be able to, bring up your platform, your advertising, your marketing, your networks and your sales without having to spend $1 bazillion?
Right.
I literally came, and my story, Suzy, I came from a house, under a house in Boston, Massachusetts. And,
Flip-flops.
one pair of shoes at the time,
Right.
used clothing, the whole story, right? And I tell people, if I can do it, you can do it. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your sex. It doesn't matter your education. It doesn't matter, all of these things that we think are paradigms of what you don't have to have $1 bazillion to make a multi-million-dollar company. You do not need it. And so many people think that it's about what they need versus what they can do. And I love being able to do that, and I know that we're doing an event together. I'm going to teach on leveraging at that event. So, it's like if somebody has a business and they want to learn about leveraging media, if they want to learn about leveraging their product distribution, they want to learn about expanding target marketing and how you can do some of these things for very, very, very little money.
It's also about
I'm just so passionate about that.
It's also about leveraging networking. It's like,
well, yes, go ahead.
Well, my experience in networking is I don't go to network just to sell a product. I go to network to meet people with whom I can then joint venture. It's like what we're planning to do in the first weekend in April. We're doing our Create Your 6/7-Figure Income workshop. And that's going to be at the LAX Hilton with you and Bernie Dorman, who is the CEO and founder of CEO Space, which both of us are faculty. And what my intention was when I asked you originally was to do exactly what you're just saying, is to leverage. Because with you and Bernie and me, we have 3 experts who all approach making money differently but the same. I mean, my whole focus is the power of the mind. Your focus is the power of leverage. And Bernie, I can't even describe what Bernie does.
I can't either. It's all of the above,
Yeah.
And that's why he was just like in Forbes. I guess the top 5 CEO must attends is Bernie Dorman. But I think that on my end, understanding business sequence and business strategy and leveraging And not just in networks. I mean, that's one of the things is, yes, if you put all of us together, it's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that get reached.
Right.
You know,
Exactly. Exactly.
and just being able to have, the three of our Rolodexes is
Exactly.
incredible.
Yep.
But I think that there are things that people can do out there, and I always tell people, you need to go. You need to hang out with people that that have what you want. I know in regards to the people that I hang out with, and you've known this, Suzy, because you and I have known each other for years.
Yes.
The people that we surround ourselves with either bring us up or bring us down.
Right.
And I think that you've got to play with big players. I love, playing with people like Bernie or Bob Proctor or you or other people, that we all challenge each other.
Right.
And we keep each other growing. And when we create just amazing things together, bigger than I could have ever created alone.
Exactly.
I mean, and it's like with the Women of Global Change. That was created because it's things I could have never created alone.
Well, I always say when I'm looking for people that I'm interested in, they've got to be as smart or smarter than me, as rich or richer than me, as adventurous or more adventurous than me, as successful or more successful than me. I want to continually move myself up. And,
Absolutely.
And if I'm challenged by somebody, I was talking to David Gruder and David Corbin the other day. We were working on something for CEO Space, and I had to say to them, I said, I want you to know my mind does not think the way you two guys think. So I am really challenged in this moment. And it was wonderful. It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm stupid. That the way they were talking was, I've got to now step up another notch, which was exciting because I can hang out where I am forever, but I don't want to. I want to keep
and just be comfortable, right? And just go, I'm just kind of chill here. I'm kind of comfortable. And then we become complacent, And I don't know. I mean, I looked at, and I totally agree with you, Suzy. Somebody asked me a question the other day, and they said to me, they made a comment actually on my Facebook, and they said, wow, from where you were at, years ago to where you're at now is amazing. And I thought to myself, it's a perfect example of who you hang out with and where your goals are going and who supports you. Because I went, wow, okay. I went from receptionist, I'm going years back, and I said I could go that I lived under a house, but I won't go that far back. But from receptionist to, a performer to what else did I do? I did rock singing at one point. What else did I do? I was a waitress.
I have a very similar but different. I was my first job was a job.
An entrepreneur, and part of that is the network, because I always had people around me that see things bigger than I do. And that when I start to have doubts about can I do it or whatever it is, they're in my corner going, of course you can. And where I didn't understand, or if I didn't understand, the inner workings of my mind, I could say, Suzy, I'm coming up against something here. What do I do? And or you go, okay, I'm coming up against business sequencing management. What do I do? And that's where we all work together.
Right. Well, I remember when Mark Victor Hansen, this is about 5 or 6 years ago, when Mark Victor Hansen said, you belong on television. And I said, hands down, absolutely. And then you came up with Remake My Life and created the reality show Remake My Life. And I remember sitting with your mother as she was watching, as we were doing one of the shoots. And she just said, you and Bob Proctor, you've seen it all along. And I said, and Mark Victor, the three of us, we saw it all along. And now you have a TV career.
Yeah. And and that's funny too, because I didn't know how to do it, but I had a vision.
Right.
And I was able to pull in from my network part of their expertise for my vision.
Right.
And that's where I think it's incredible. I mean, there's so many times we go out and we waste money on things, and, we're trying to figure things out and everything else instead of working in tandem.
You have to have a team.
Bernie says about what? Cooperation.
Right.
And I think that's where just huge things happen. I was working with somebody this morning and they said, wow, you see so outside the box. You see things so large. And that's where, and her eyes lit up and she sparked. And I went, that's what it's about. Feeling that magic of something bigger than you ever could have imagined. And if someone had ever said to me 25 years ago, Shelly, this is where you're going to be. And this is what you're going to be surrounded with. And this are the people that are going to be in your life. And this is the places you're going to go in the world. And these are the things you're going to do. I would have gone, okay. Instead of really having someone, or people that just go, let's blow it out. Let's take your idea and let's make it larger than life.
Well, so Shelly, if someone wants to contact you now so that they can take their idea and make it larger than life, how do they contact you?
Well, it's really funny, Suzy, because sometimes you don't get me in person, as you know, because it's kind of like right now I couldn't make it to the studio because I'm getting ready to leave town again. If they want to see me live, they can see me with you. And I'm more than welcome to sit down with them, have lunch with them, and go over what their, leverage plan and sequence management is for their career, their journey, their legacy, their business, all that.
So we're going to be talking about that and doing that at the SixFigure Income, 6/7-figure income. Somebody said to me the other day, why are you calling it a 6-figure income? Why not just a 7-figure income? And I said, because some people haven't even wrapped it around their brain that they can actually create a 6-figure. 7-figure would completely throw them out. So I thought, let's do both, 6 and 7 figures, because there are people who are doing high 6 figures who've reached a ceiling, so to speak, and it's time to bump them up to the 7-figure. And there are people who are under 6 figures who really don't know how to take that leap to get above 6 figures. And
Absolutely.
So we're going to cover the whole thing.
That is one of the things, I think that so many times we become a slave to our business or our industry if we are an entrepreneur. And, businesses are meant to free us from those chains, not so we're chained to the business. And I think that, I spent several years of my life being chained to a business and just being a slave to corporate America and the industry instead of having it serve me to launch me to legacy. And so anyways, they can see me there. I'm more than happy to meet with them. If not, they can also email me or reach out to me at successisbybydesign.com or thewomenofglobalchange.com.
Great. Thank you. And so, when you and I talked the other day, we were going to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing at the 6-figure income, 6/7-figure income program that we're going to be doing on the 6th and 7th of April at the LAX Hilton. And we're going to talk about, well, it says here, if you have a hard time asking for money, are not charging enough, don't like selling, feel stuck getting past where you are right now, feel awkward asking for the business, feel stressed about money, have more month at the end of your money, haven't figured out the money game, or just plain want to make more money, this 2-day seminar is for you. So let me ask you, when people talk to you about money, how do they approach you about it? And what is your response? Because I find when I listen to a lot of my clients now, because I'm a hypnotherapist, I can just hypnotize them to get out of their own way. But which is why people say, well, why are your programs so short? And I say, because I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm just going to hypnotize you to make the changes that you need to make so that you can get out of your way, make more money, follow up, follow through, and always my symbol here, the money's in the phone, pick up the phone. And I was listening to somebody yesterday, and 3 times during our short conversation, she negated herself. I can't remember right now what she said. And I said, you have to stop doing that. You have to promote yourself. And so when you're working with people, they come to you for all different kinds of reasons, but mainly to move themselves forward.
Yes.
And what is the money conversation?
Well, the money conversation always starts with self. I've taken people from making a little less than $5,000 a month to $20,000 a month, and they were still living paycheck to paycheck. And that, there's this term that my mom used to use, and it came from somewhere way back when, and it was water seeks its own level.
Right.
Wherever we're, our conscious and subconscious are a direct result of what we manifest out in the world. And, people come to me and they go, I want to make $1 million. Well, that's all great. Can I give you, sequence management to do it? Absolutely. Can I turn around and develop you into a huger industry or business or product development than you've ever thought possible? I can do it. That's what I do. That's where my eyes go, is big. However, people will make it small if they're not in accordance with it.
Exactly.
That's why those lottery winners, it's like the lottery winners, I just won $30 million or whatever it is.
And 3 years later, they're broke.
5 years later, they're broke.
Right.
And it's because their thinking has not changed. So, that's why I loved teaming up with you, Suzy, because you deal with the thinking end of it. Yep. And then I get to come in and do sequence.
Yep.
And I get to create, these are the logistics. And what I love about what I do in tandem with what you do is you deal with where the blocks are going to come.
Right.
And a lot of times I have to listen and really define where the blocks are for someone, or they show up as we're in the middle of creating this huge thing for them.
And something then stops
and then all of a sudden we hit these stumbling blocks, and then I got to work them through these stumbling blocks, where you address it right up front. And I love that because I can break sequence management and I can break success levels for businesses and other things down. I love it. Einstein always said it, is that if you break it down to where a 4-year-old can understand it, let me tell you something, Suzy, that's when I understand it too. Okay. And so it's, how do we break this down so it's just clear and it's attainable? If I said, okay, we're going to travel the world, we're going to go do this, we're going to go do that, and your company is going to be international and all this stuff's going to happen, somebody might go, okay, same thing that I did, which you're like, okay. But if you break it down and I'm notorious for that, the simplicity.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Of action steps so that you see this huge picture. And sometimes your eyes kind of goggle, where you go, wow, okay, that's where we're heading. Okay.
Well, but you've got to have a starting point.
Track it and break it down for people. And that's one of the things I want to do on this thing in April is I want to backtrack it so people actually walk out with an action plan
that they can
put their hands on.
Yeah.
And they can measure their results, and they have it all figured out for themselves, of the direction they're heading, where they're heading, how to get there.
The steps they have to take.
Absolutely. And in tandem with what you do, I just thought that was beautiful. I really did.
Well, the thing that because I've had so many businesses, and some very successful and some quite not so, I've learned that you have to take steps. Literally, as you say, sequence and manage your steps. If you take too big a step, you could fall off the cliff.
That's right.
But if you, and so when I remember when I started my first hypnosis center, the weight loss center, I started with a friend of mine in an office that we shared. And I would see a client while she would sit in the waiting room, and she would see a client while I would sit in the waiting room. And then both of us would sit in the waiting room when the client was doing a video or an audio. And it was hysterical, but we could afford it.
Yep.
And so we started with this tiny little office. And then within 6 months, we had 2 offices. Then we had 3 offices. Then I bought her out. Then I had to move across the street, and all of a sudden I had, 3,800. I had 4 treatment rooms, 2 classrooms, an executive office, and it all started with do it one step at a time. Our advertising in the beginning was, this teeny little ad, and finally we were doing full pages in the LA Times. But we started small, and we always stayed within budget.
Yep.
So that we didn't make ourselves, we made ourselves crazy anyway because it was so expensive to run that company. I was very glad when it went out of business because then I could start the company that I'm running now, which I love, and get to travel all over the world with people like you, people like Bernie, and go to CEO Space 5 times a year and create joint ventures that I would never have thought of before, which is exciting. That's what we're doing on the 6th and 7th of April. Is that it's a joint venture where the three of us, Bernie, you and I, are coming together to give our expertise to the people who want to make more money, have more fun, get better in business, and expand as entrepreneurs. And for information on that, you can contact me at Suzy Prudden. That's SUZYPRUDDEN at Gmail. I'm going to give you what Donna's email because I won't
Okay.
get it. Suzy Prudden Office at yahoo.com. That's SUZYPRUDDEN Office at yahoo.com. And Donna will make sure that we get you the information that you need. And of course, you can also contact Shelly at Women of Global Change or Success is by Design. And we all have all the information for you. You can also call us at 310-640-8885. That's 310-640-8885. And Shelly, what's a good number for them to call you?
916 813 4490.
What?
916 813 4490. And you will probably get Emily, my assistant, because I'm kind of traveling at the moment.
People are going to get Donna, who's my assistant, because I leave this week. I'm gone then for 2 weeks. I'm going to CEO Space, where I'll see you,
Yes.
and then I'm going off to the Secret Knock. And
Yep.
you going to be there too?
No, I'm off somewhere else.
Oh, you're going on tour.
Yeah, I do have a tour. It's called the Rise Up Tour. That's coming 2013. So that's
We're in
I'll be
2013,
straight.
Shelley.
Yeah, I'll be straight out on the road. So I
You're
hope
doing that
everybody
with
can
Les Brown.
come and play with us in April because it's going to be the only time I'm going to be on the West Coast for a while.
Wow, that's interesting. Now you're going off with Les, and who else is on that?
I'm on with Les Brown, Clinton Swain, Karen Hoyos, yourself. I think we're together at some point. I know Les is with me all over the country. It's New York, Chicago, a lot of East Coast, Texas, all over the place. Then I go out of the country and I'll be international. So, for most of the rest of the year. So it'd be really good. April, I'm here. And I'm a resident here now, too.
Yes, I know.
Hopefully I get to hang out with some people so I know who my neighbors are.
Well, you just moved from Northern California down to Orange County.
I did, and I just actually purchased a house, and it's finally just went through. Matter of fact, I was there earlier this morning, and I have a bazillion boxes around me right now, because I'm getting ready to head back over to the new house. I'm very excited, and it's really funny because I know people here, but I don't know a lot of people here, so I'm really checking out the neighborhood.
That's fantastic. I'll tell you, a lot of people here know you. And
well, thank you. And I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to play here. I actually attended my first event, which was the Orange County Child Prevention fundraiser that was here. And so, a lot of times I fly in and I do the red carpets in LA and I fly back out. I did the Oscars last year and some other things. And I'll tell you, so normally I fly in and I fly out, and it was just really fun to go, who can I play with that's in our, in my own backyard?
And there's a lot of us down here.
I know. So I'm really looking forward to this.
And so, okay, so now you're traveling a lot. Are you working on any books right now? I know you have success. You do have the book Successes by Design, right?
I do. And I'm actually in the process of working on another book. It's How to Be Deliberately Happy and Rich. How to live a fulfilled life and put cash in your pocket.
I like that.
And, it's one of the things that I love, and that's what I love about you too, Suzy, because it's really about a fulfilled life. I've met people that were slaves to their businesses that were just miserable.
Yes.
I've met people that were extremely successful that were miserable, and then others that were in business and were extremely happy, and others that made a lot of money and were extremely happy. And I think it's about being happy along the journey, because there's always going to be another mission.
And there's always going to be bumps in the road.
Absolutely.
I was talking to
cracking up when you go, and one of these businesses didn't work so well, or a couple of them. I have businesses that didn't work so well, but I kept going and I kept going, and some of them really went well, and so I can't wait to really be able to share some of the tools and techniques with some people. I just, there's so many ways that people can do, I mean, even advertising cheaply, and they don't realize it,
Yes.
even direct marketing for TV. They don't understand how to do it, or how do you
Right.
play in the media. People go, okay, how did you get on ABC? How'd you get on CBS? How'd you do all this stuff? Well, guess what? There's a madness to the formula, and I get to share it with you.
Yes.
So I'm
People ask me
excited
all the
about that.
time, how did you get on Oprah? I said, I hired a publicist.
Yep. Well,
Uh,
I didn't even hire a publicist,
well,
because
I hired a publicist.
in the
And
very beginning, I didn't even have the money to hire a publicist, Susie. And I went, how do I
well,
do
in the
this?
beginning, I was married to my
Yeah,
publicist.
well, no, you married the publicist. I didn't marry the publicist, right?
And
So,
actually, he was a very good
so these are
publicist.
some of the things. If people, if they have the money, great. Then they'll know where to step into to play, at least a couple levels bigger. And if they don't, there are ways that they can absolutely do things today.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you start off small and you
Yeah,
let it grow. And the important thing is to be good at it. I
that's
mean,
exactly
if
right.
and to practice, to
Yep.
hone your skills
Yep.
so that when you're being interviewed, you really do know what you're talking about.
Yep.
And
And to network, to be around certain like-minded people that are
yes,
growing in areas and ways that you want to grow, and that you want to, or have things that you want to accomplish. That's invaluable, because we can read as many books as we want. We can do as many, things
workshops.
as whatever,
Right.
get the little workbook and fill it out for ourselves. But when we're truly sitting with people and being with like-minded people that are accomplishing things that we want to accomplish, I mean, I can pick, whether it's Mark Victor's brain or Bob's, who I've picked many times, and you ask a question and they can get me to the direct answer rather than me doing all the fishing.
Right.
And when I'm fishing, that could take me years for me to figure it out. And not only that, they save me some of the stumbling blocks.
Right. Well, because they've already done what you're asking them, and if they haven't, they can direct you to the people who have.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things that again I love about CEO Space,
Yep.
because the instructors there as well as the participants, um, there is so much experience
Yeah.
amongst all the different people in that organization. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. We've got some messages from our sponsors. I'm delighted to have you on the phone and talking to you, and we will continue on in just a moment. My name is Suzy Prudden. This is Mastermind Live on LA Talk Live. We're more than just talk. My guest is Shelly Hunt, and we'll talk to you in a little bit.
Hi, this is Dr. Levi, your fitness doctor, making a personal house call, inviting you to join me Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific for my all-new show, The Dr. Levi Show. Join us as we discuss fitness, health, and well-being, including emotional and spiritual health. So don't forget to tune in to The Dr. Levi Show every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, exclusively on latalklive.com and the Talk Live Broadcast Network. You can also catch us on iTunes, Radio R&B, or watch us on Ustream.tv, or catch us on the Live 365 network, and now on Radio Flag and Stitcher Radio. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, I'm Ro Williams, and I would like to invite you to join GospelRhythms.com every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our show, GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio. Join us as we celebrate Christians around the world in all genres of entertainment, as well as highlight interest stories on men and women who are making a difference and impacting their community. So don't forget to tune in to GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes under R&B or watch us live on Ustream TV. We are reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio on LATalkLive.com. We're more than just talk. We're heaven's party here on earth.
Hi, welcome back to Mastermind Live with Suzy Prudden on LA Talk Live. My guest is Shelly Hunt of the Women's Global Network and Success is by Design and the TV show Remake My Life. Hi, Shelly.
Hi, Suzy.
I'm so glad you're back. I was playing around with my phone because I said I always joke around the money's in the phone, so I love to carry my phone around. We've had some callers, and so
Okay.
Shelly, we may have some callers who have some questions for us coming up.
Awesome.
And talk more about what it is you want to teach people at the 6/7-figure income workshop that we're doing in April.
Well, first off, if they're not locked in on how they can make money and what they can do, I have some really easy techniques that I'll share about how they can hone in on that. And then the other thing is, so not only what they like and they're passionate about, but what they're good at. And that makes a difference.
That makes
It
a
really
big
does,
difference.
because it has to be something we're good at too. And how can we play in those arenas? Because that's where legacy actually gets first, noticed. But also, if
Shelly?
you're in business, yeah.
Shelly, explain legacy to me.
Legacy to me would be there's always something that speaks. We're all individual. We all have different gifts and talents to share with the world. But there's always something beyond that too that just speaks to us. For some people, it's animals. For me, it's children. For some people, it's other things. It's energy. It's whatever it is for you.
Right.
There are different things that it could be environmental. There is something that speaks individually to all of us.
And there's something that you want to do that makes a difference on the planet.
Exactly. That's like our big, big dream. If you could do anything, what would you do?
Right.
And retire tomorrow and go to the mall, I bet.
Oh, I don't
That's all
think
great,
so.
But I bet you get sick of the mall really quick. And I bet, and I have yet, out of tens of thousands of people I've worked with, run into one who really didn't have a bigger purpose that they would attach themselves to.
Everybody has a bigger purpose. They just have to allow themselves to allow it to come to them. A lot of people are afraid to even question that because they're afraid that if it's so big, they might not be able to attain it. But you and I both know that you can attain anything you put your mind to.
Absolutely.
And my operative word, as I think yours is yes.
Yeah.
Just plain yes. Sounds like a good idea to me. Let's do it.
Absolutely. And I think one of the other things is really having a foundation underneath you that really supports you in multiple sources of income.
Right.
And I think that, I don't care if you're working a 9-to-5 job, I've done it. You can still own a business. You can still have multiple sources of income coming in. And most people don't realize that they can do that. And it's like, and I'm not talking like you mentioned, being a lemming and jumping off and going, how do I feed my kids tomorrow?
Right.
There are ways to very comfortably transition yourself into your own businesses and into your own multiple sources of income.
The thing that I tell my clients who want to jump from a job into being an entrepreneur, I say, don't do it too fast. You've got to build it, because I've jumped from the frying pan into the fire. It hurts. And you've got to build your strengths in your entrepreneurial business while you're still maintaining what you're doing, let's say in a job, until you reach the point where the job is unnecessary to meet your financial needs, and then you can just go even higher. But
that is absolutely true.
To let it all go,
yes.
I can't, Ness, I can't hear her. If you could turn that, thank you.
Well, and
Um,
I think part of it, Susie, that I'm going to talk about too is sometimes time runs us. We don't run time.
right,
And, we are creatures of habit and we get into our automatic habit patterns. And then the next thing we know, time is running us. We're not running time.
right.
And, I think that we're on the face of this planet for a short time. I don't know what everybody believes. I respect everybody's personal beliefs. But, this is your life. This is your time right now. And I know for me, I didn't want to look back and go, well, what if I had just?
Exactly.
What if I had just tried, And being a single mom, I had to transition. No one was going to feed my daughter. I was a single mom. And I had to be able to transition out of corporate America into my own businesses.
How did you decide to do what you're doing now? Because when I first met you, you were not at all who you are today.
um, I went on a mission, as you know, growing up as a kid, I understood win-win. And, I grew up with some of the incredible masters of the planet of understanding human potential, understanding my subconscious, understanding those little inner voices, and the things that follow us, and the paradigms, that we can put ourselves in. And then I went on a mission. I went on a mission when I was in my 20s because I really wanted to understand how people ran multiple businesses. I wanted to open this clothing store, and I love my mom to pieces. My mom is one of my best friends, and she hates when I say this, but I'm going to say it anyways. When I was going to open this clothing store, she said to me, well, you'd have to be there all day. I said, wait a minute. Why would I have to be there all day? That was her paradigm. Was
Right.
I would have to work the store. I said, wait, people own these things and they don't necessarily have to work the store. Why do I have to work the store? See, because I was looking in the long run. Even if I had to work it in the beginning, I wasn't going to work it in the middle or the end.
Right. Exactly.
And then, I said, wait, I know more than just movie stars and more than just the extremely rich own multiple businesses.
Right.
And I want to know how to run multiple businesses. And so I kind of went on this mission to learn how to do that. And I learned from some of the best in the world. And then I also went on a mission to go, okay, well, if I just had one business, how do I play internationally so that I understand if the market is down in the US, it might not be in Canada. And if it is in Canada, it might not be in Germany. And if it isn't in Germany, then maybe Australia is ready for my services or my products.
Australia is great.
Australia's fantastic. And so I was just there and did a stage with Richard Branson's people the end of last year. And so it's kind of like, how do you broaden the horizons?
Yes. Yes.
Because,
how do you challenge yourself? One of the things that I decided this year was to challenge myself because I was coasting. And I thought, okay, I can coast. I can make a lot of money coasting. This is not what I want to be doing. I've got to challenge myself because I am bored coasting.
Yep.
And so I started challenging myself, and now I'm challenged. So I've all of a sudden, I was talking to my assistant, to Donna today. I said, it's amazing what we have to do in this week to get me ready for the 2 weeks that I'm going to be away, because we have to cover all the current clients, plus the new clients, plus all the materials that you need when you're on the road, when you're speaking, when you're presenting. And then we come back and immediately we're doing the 6/7-figure income workshop at the Hilton with you guys, with you and Bernie. And so it's like, well, okay, I guess I did step up my game a bit. And it's very exciting.
It is. And, it's going to happen over and over. Because here's the thing, if we're moving forward, then it's going to get that same nervousness and that same feeling. Like people say to me, do you still get nervous? And
Absolutely.
I go, oh, heck yes.
Absolutely.
I got nervous when I opened my first company. I got nervous when I opened the second one. I got nervous when I opened the third one. I got nervous when I opened the fourth one. I get nervous when, or there's I go to another level in one of my companies.
Yes,
And
me too.
so we're constantly moving.
I get nervous every time I raise my prices. And then I have so much fun after I've raised my prices because people keep signing up. And I go, okay, I just raise them again.
Yep. And then you have a solid, and that solid track record speaks volumes too. And I'm going to talk to people about how to be able to get into those networks in your industry, how to be a rock star in your
Right.
industry, because that's what it's about. And then being able to not just have that and become a rock star in your industry doesn't guarantee you're going to make money. You have got to actually have that foundation, that leveraged foundation underneath you, so that as you become a rock star in your industry, there's funnels where and multiple sources of income where money can come in. And all that stuff is what I'm going to be talking about. But I just love that you're saying that, Susie, because I know for me every level is exciting.
Yes. It's
It's exciting
exciting
and it's
and
fun,
it's
and life is too short. You're not here to play small. No one is here to play small. We have a purpose, we have a mission. We are here to play larger than life, larger than we can ever dream of. And many of us dream really big, but we don't share them.
well, we have to share our dreams and we have to challenge ourselves. We always have to be on the learning curve because if
Absolutely.
we're on the, I mean, I feel more alive when I'm on that learning curve than if I'm just coasting.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
coasting is okay for a little bit. You got to catch your breath, but then it's back up and back out there. And okay, what's my next step? It's like the day I went into that. I just rented a space in my building, and I was going to use it for storage because the gentleman who had it before me used it for storage. And I walked in there; it's now empty, and I went, "This isn't a storage room; it's a TV studio." So I immediately went out and got the URL Fit for Life TV. And since I'm now working on my book Fit for Life After 60, and I have to get myself into shape, and I don't do it by myself. I love to teach, but I don't want to teach a class. I'm now going to teach in front of a camera every week, put it online, get myself in shape while I help other people who are my age, which is close to 70, get back in shape without doing what we did 30 years ago. And all the people who bought my books 30 years ago when I
Yep.
was the fitness expert, if they're still alive, they're my age now.
You
So
know, one of the things I loved about that, Susie, is you were like, I'm going to let them watch me. I mean, that is such a vulnerable place, and especially us as women, where, I deal a lot in boardrooms with men with fortune companies. But I know as women, there's these paradigms that are put on us, and for you to do that, I mean, it's one of the things I love about you is you're just real. And I'm kind of like, what you see is what you get.
that's it.
I'm very upfront about my realness, and I love that about you because that takes guts. That's like going on the air with no makeup, no nothing, and just bearing yourself.
I'm not wearing a leotard though.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't either.
I'll wait until I've taken the weight off. But it's so much fun because I can honestly say, okay, if I can do it and I do it, you
Yep.
can do it. And it's not a big deal. And it's not about shakes and it's not about carrot sticks and it's not about starvation and it's not
Yep.
about all of that stuff. It's about
Yep.
being real, being in your life, and making a lifestyle change that allows you to get in shape, feel better, have more energy, and be the weight you want to be. And I'm
I like
excited.
that. That's nice, actually.
Yep, I'm
That's very
excited.
nice. And I think one of the things with working out, is I was one of those people where I was like, I'm gonna do it, and then I didn't do it. I'm gonna do it, and then I didn't do it.
Yep.
And I would work on the businesses and do things. And being a single mom, it's like I go from CEO. People laugh because they're like, I go from CEO in the morning to I got to drive my daughter to school. She goes to a private school. I'm like, oh my gosh, the dogs got out. The next thing you know, I'm running down the street after the dogs, right? And then I go back and I'm working some more. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go work out. I finally had to be down at the gym because I had this gym membership.
Right.
And until I hired this trainer, and until I made the price hurt for me, my paradigm just a little bit, then I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go.
Yeah, I have to go. Well,
Like I couldn't justify spending it if I wasn't going to show up there.
right.
So sometimes we have to push ourselves a little bit,
Well, that's what I'm
to
doing with the
really step
TV
into it.
show. It's like I've got to do it. I'm going to be on
Oh yeah.
camera. I've got to do it. So that's
I
what I've
did.
got
I
to
mean,
do.
I
And
hit
now,
my early 40s and I went, what happened?
yeah,
This is not my 20s and my 30s.
right. People,
What happened in these 40s?
well, wait till you get to 70.
I was like, what
It's
the
a lot
heck is
different.
this?
We're gonna have to sign off now. I want you back on again. It's been wonderful having you, Shelly. One more time, how can people reach you?
They can reach me at successisbydesign.com, or they can just Google Shelly Hunt, SHELLIE Hunt, HUNT, and they'll find me.
And you can call me at 310-640-8885 or email me at suzypruddenoffice@yahoo.com. I'm
And
Suzy.
please come out and play with me in April because I want to meet my neighbors.
Yeah, please come play with us at the Hilton on the 6th and the 7th of April. We'll be joined by Bernie Dorman, who is the founder and the CEO of CEO Space. We're going to teach you how to make a lot of money, have a lot of fun, and make a bigger difference in the world. I'm Suzy Prudden. This is Mastermind Live on LA Talk Live, where we're more than just talk. See you next week. It's been fun.
Dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Someday wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble.
Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. You're tuned in to LA Talk Live, where we're more than just talk.
You find